Hello, Letitia.
Hey T.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you so much for joining me for my long-term commitment video.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. So first of all, we're just going to have a little walk around the foundation. But my first question would be, when did you join the foundation and how did you feel at the time?
2008 was the first time that I started at the foundation. After the scholarship program was initiated,
Cool.
I joined the team. We were very few of us, but 2008 was when I joined the foundation.
Wow.
How did I feel? I felt really excited because I understood that the vision of this program is really phenomenal, and the foundation aligned with what my values, emulated, and that's really why I decided to be here.
Yeah.
And it was an incredibly exciting and dynamic time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how would you say that your role has changed from the time you joined the foundation and your time now?
So the foundation.
Let's have a little walk around while we
Yes.
answer this
So
question.
the foundation is really interesting space where it allows one to explore different opportunities and take up different projects. And I started out in the foundation scholarship program, which is the high school program.
Okay.
But then when I saw an opportunity for improvement, a colleague and I proposed an idea for centralized events and logistics team.
Cool.
We proposed it.
So wait, are you telling me that you were part of the birth of PAC?
Yes,
At the very
infantile stage.
Wow.
So at its infancy, we then proposed, applied for the position, and yes, I was grateful to have the opportunity to lead the team for about 5 years. So yes, and then so 5 years in the team, and then it wasn't just one day, but one morning I woke up and I realized I really want to go to where the heart of development happens, and that's with the candidate fellows directly.
Cool.
So during that time, I decided I want to explore other opportunities in the foundation, together with the skills that I had and my heart. I then contacted a number of my colleagues, and I'm like, what do you think is going to be, is it going to be suitable, and will I be able to to add value to that department and to the candidate fellows?
Of course.
And it was obviously a resounding yes.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. So I contacted Non Tobeko at the time. She was a director.
Wow.
And I said, I'm really excited about the opportunity to work with the candidate fellows directly. And then she said, yes, of course, come meet with me. We met. I remember it was a Friday when I called her. The Monday I had a meeting, an interview with Non Tobeko. And after an interview, we just 2 weeks later I started in this position, and it has been where I found my most fulfilled since.
Oh wow, thank you. Cool. So on a lighter note, what would you say is your favorite go-to breakfast?
It must be the donuts that Johan brings to the office.
Ooh.
So it could be anything from, I get a call to say, hey, I'm on my way to Vida, do you want something? And a paizinho is the next thing that we would go for.
Ooh.
Or she brings these cute little donuts from Woolies, and that with a cup of coffee, breakfast
is served.
At its best.
And what would you say is something that's getting you up in the morning these days?
What gets me up is that I still, after I've been at the foundation for 15 years, this is my 16th year in the foundation as an organization, and what gets me up in the morning, and I just started a course now, and I was speaking about the work that I do. Peers in the class are all like, you look so passionate and excited about what you do, and I'm like, I still am, it's like the honeymoon phase hasn't worn off. There's a little bit of growth and shift and dynamics that happens, and when that happens, it's usually because something significant is shifting. And so I find that I really enjoy, what gets me up in the morning is knowing that I'm coming to an opportunity where I can add value,
of course,
to our candidate fellows, and just the caliber of candidates that we work with and that we've identified. I mean, they inspire me more sometimes than anything else.
That kind of leads me to my follow-up question, which would be, what has been your most impactful moment with a candidate fellow?
Because it's such a confidential space, and
yes,
it's
you don't have to
difficult
name
to
names.
identify, right?
Yeah.
But I remember spending about 2 weeks with a candidate fellow who really needed to understand why they were behaving the way they were. And it really took a lot of unpacking.
Yes.
And it was really the most impactful moment was after, and I would say at this point we will have been speaking for over the course of the 2 weeks between 8 and 12 hours on the phone.
Wow, that's a long time.
And they came to realize that these were the issues that they were facing.
Yes.
And that they needed support. And they now had an idea of where to start with helping themselves. For me, it was a pivotal moment in the individual's life.
Of course.
Because then both she and I knew how to approach
the situation. Yeah, of course.
From where we now had a little bit of clarity.
Having more
and
of a
she had an epiphany, like, oh my
having
goodness.
more of a holistic environment
correct.
in solution finding.
Yes,
that's really
and
cool.
we're still friends.
That's amazing.
So we've moved from the mentor relationship
Yes.
into a friendship thereafter. So
that's amazing.
I still have the vested interest in my candidate fellows.
That's beautiful, and I think that's so important for any PO and anyone who engages with our stakeholders at the foundation. Yeah. Cool. It was a bit too hot in the sun. We had to move away. So what project have you worked on that you exceeded your own expectations on?
I think the one project that I'm really proud of is what came out of the proposal. Having seen the inefficiencies in the way that we worked about 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, identifying opportunities to innovate within the space, and so taking the opportunity to lead the team and creating the processes and the systems and the principles based on how the events and logistics team ran. That for me I think was really great. And what I really enjoyed about leading the team of incredibly hardworking, strong individuals in the events team, because they really made the project almost lift off the page and come to life. And initially it was people like Carol Gajana, it was Candice, Sebastian, Faldila, Tokozo is my absolute war veteran. I could take him anywhere and he would just exceed.
He'll see.
Shabi Khan and Johanna at the time as well. So working with all these beautifully high impact individuals with strong work ethic made that project for me an absolute success. And I think that was the foundation upon which the events team within the PAC is was born from.
And we're so grateful for it, because I love working within the PAC team, especially within continuing the crossover of communications as well as events and logistics. I think we work really well. So if it had not been for you and your proposal, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yes, it was. It wasn't just me on my own. I had a colleague who worked with me on that.
That's amazing.
It was just wonderful to have the opportunity to take it from
of course,
a theory to in practice,
and
setting up the systems and processes. And it's always excited me, something new and creating something where there was nothing.
Exactly.
And really for it to make a long-term impact.
Exactly.
Really
and it has definitely.
So grateful. Still in my heart. In my heart.
Course.
And just from the PAC perspective, the events and logistics team was sitting in a completely different department before, and it wasn't suited there, and we could feel the discomfort when it was there, and there were many times, I mean, during where we realized it should move.
Yes.
And shift, but obviously it happened only after I've moved on, and I'm so grateful that the team is where they
We've
synchronize,
come to be
they in
exactly
sync, you know, and
with one another.
there's this synergy now in terms
Exactly.
of where they are located.
Yeah.
And positioned.
So, do you have any last words of encouragement that you'd like to impart on the audience watching this video?
Sure. Okay. So, from a long-term orientation perspective, and having been at the foundation for this long, I am yet to find an organization where the culture is of such, where moving between, you know, it's almost like you imagine a seat on a bus and different seats, and you're able to move from seat to seat. And the foundation allows, because the culture allows for it. It's a culture that's been, for growth. And just from an organizational design perspective, I would like to speak to how impactful it could be, and how much value one can get out of one's talent if you do sort of open the opportunities and not have silos in the way that silos sort of mindset and the way that we work, so that we are able to impact and add value
and collaborate more.
And also understand where best it would be for me to add value. If in this space it's not working, I'm able to move on and add greater value. And also for a principle-based approach. So when decisions are made, it's made on principle, you know, not at a whim or new information comes, but it's really principle based and values driven, and that's why I think the team that I work with at the moment is so strong, because we understand why we are here, we understand the principles upon which we have based the strategy, and if that could be like your guiding light, setting it up for the long run, so that we're not like blown
moving from wind to wind.
Exactly. So that we are actually able to be consistent in terms of how we work for long-term impact, and not be wasteful with all our resources that we have.
Of course.
Yeah.
Awesome.